Biggest secret revealed on 90 Day Fiancé. Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. We've seen our fair share of wild stories on 90 Day Fiancé, but today we focus on the one with the biggest secret revealed yet. Grab a snack and make yourself comfortable, because this video will take you on one hell of a ride. Right before we get into it, tap the subscribe and bell notification button. We have new videos every day. You don't want to miss out. Now let's begin. We meet 60-year-old Jenny, who is in an online relationship with 25-year-old Michael Jones. Michael is a hottie in his pictures, and let's be honest, our first thought when we saw him for Jenny was, why on earth would you think this overly handsome man would be looking for love online, on Facebook nonetheless? Anyways, we don't want to sound like haters, so let's see how this love story progresses. Jenny says that she started falling for Michael because he was very funny and made her laugh. Alright, we'll give you that pass, Jenny. Nothing better than a funny partner to crack your ribs all day long and keep you young. She says that she always wondered why he picked her, especially because he was half her age. But she always found a way to justify it.
I was skeptical, like, why me? Why was he choosing me? Especially when he's half my age.
Hey Jenny, we found that the gut is almost always very accurate, and the minute something gives you doubts, then you most definitely need to think twice about it, especially if it involves falling in love with a stranger you met online.
All this time that I was talking to Michael, even though I was falling in love with him, he had a secret.
Okay, so she's been keeping a secret from her daughters about this online relationship, and she's about to come clean to her daughters. We learn that the person she's actually been talking to is 30-year-old Sumit, who's in India. Wait, what happened? What changed in the span of those 3 seconds? So we were right. She was being catfished by a man in India who was using photos that aren't his and pretending to be someone else. You know, as catfishes do. Turns out, she'd only told her daughters about Sumit and not about the beginning of the relationship. She conveniently left out the part about them meeting because he was catfishing her.
Like, you were being catfished?
We know, Jenny. We'd also be embarrassed to say that out loud. But the fact that she chose to continue the relationship with him even after she found out he had lied to her is beyond us. Jenny says that she had started to develop feelings for the person that she was already talking to, and so she forgave him. But she was very curious to actually see him and get a good look at the person she had been talking to all along. Read the weirdo who used someone else's pictures to convince someone to fall in love with him. When they finally had a call on Skype, she says she was floored because she thought he was actually cuter than Michael Jones. So you're off to a great start there, Sumit.
Wow, you're cute. You're cuter than Michael Jones. He just was afraid I wasn't going to accept him.
Okay, so Jenny has finally moved to India to be with Sumit, the love of her life. She's been there for a while, and we find out that they are due to have their ring ceremony soon, so they are one step closer to getting married. This is not how we saw this story panning out when we first met the couple. To celebrate their upcoming ring ceremony, Jenny decides to make Sumit his favorite meal. He takes her grocery shopping, and it fills us with so much pride to see her navigate the spice aisle and even name some of the spices. I mean, this is a 60-year-old woman from Palm Springs, California. What could she know about making Indian dal? We can't wait to see how this goes. Okay, so before we even get to see Jenny whip up some of her magic in the kitchen, Sumit reveals that while she does a great job with the cleaning, her cooking is terrible, and he simply does not understand how she raised 3 kids on her own. What did she feed them? Whoa there, we know we're in the kitchen, but we definitely did not see that burn coming. A surprise awaits Jenny as she navigates her way through the kitchen with the 1,000,001 spices that have her sneezing up a storm. Her daughter, Jenny, and her wife, Christina, have come all the way to India to check up on her and see how she's doing. If my mom picked up her bags and moved to a different country to be with the man who catfished her, then I would also be worried about how she was doing. I mean, what if he was a criminal who was trying to get her down there just to harvest her organs? You never know these days. The scene opens with a tense Jenny recalling an incident that clearly seems to have bothered or hurt her.
It's like you're having a nightmare and you wake up and it's true. It's really happening. It's not a nightmare. It's really happening. That's what it felt like.
As we're about to find out, Sumit had been keeping more than one secret from the woman he claimed to love and wants to marry. Just after Sumit had gotten to their house from his home, his phone started ringing, and Jenny says that Sumit was aggravated by the call.
Sumit had just come here. He had been at his house. He had just come here in the morning, and his phone started ringing. He looked at his phone. He's like...
He put his phone away and asked her to lock the doors. A worried Jenny obliged and thought that perhaps his family had finally found out about them living together.
Oh, you know, and he put his phone on. I said, what, who's calling you? And he went out the door and he said, Jenny, lock the door.
A few minutes later, there was a knock at the door, and Sumit goes to open it. His biggest secret is about to be revealed. When Jenny goes down to the door to find out what's happening, he finds a man standing at the door with Sumit, and he greets her by name and introduces himself. Hi Jenny, I'm Sumit's wife's father.
I opened it and there was a man standing there with Sumit. And he said, hello, Jenny, how are you? I'm Sumit's wife's father.
Hold on. Not only was this man guilty of once misleading Jenny by using someone else's picture and lying about his identity, we find out that he was a married man? So Sumit had gotten married 2 years ago, and all the while he was still maintaining his online relationship with Jenny, who was miles away. Well, now the catfishing doesn't even look like that big a deal now that the real secret is out.
He's married to my daughter for the last 2 years. He's married to my daughter.
Jenny takes us through the range of emotions she felt after this revelation had been made. She felt confused and tried to understand why and how Sumit could have been married when they had been talking all along, and he told her that he loved her every single day.
How did he marry somebody else? How is it possible to do that? How do you do that?
Well, we hate to come off as insensitive, lady, but you should have believed him the first time he showed you he's capable of lying. I mean, moving to a different country to be with a man that catfished you? What good could possibly come of that? Sumit meets up with his buddy to tell him what's going on. His friend asks him if he told his family that he loves Jenny, and he says he did, but that as soon as he made the admission, everyone got very hostile and aggressive. It's to be understood because, as we are soon told by Sumit's friend, it is not the norm to end a marriage in India. Divorces are very hard to execute and often come with a lot of unnecessary trouble, unlike in other countries where people get married if and when they want to, whoever they want to. Most marriages in India are arranged, and so the involved parties have little to no say in the marriage itself. Okay, now Sumit says that he wants a separation from his wife because he really wants to be with Jenny. We guess he really loves her if he's willing to take all the potential flack that could come with choosing to leave his wife. Turns out that his father-in-law was threatening him with a criminal case in the event that Sumit chose to leave his daughter. This could mean that Sumit could end up behind bars. That's sad, but it's hard to feel sorry for a man who does nothing but lie. Imagine his poor wife who just found out that her husband was living with another woman he'd met online. Another woman whom he'd initially lied to about his identity and now about his huge secret. I don't know, Sumit, it's pretty hard to sympathize with you from where we're sitting. I mean, you're the reason all of this is happening. If only you told the truth, always, and didn't rely on lies or omissions as your way of life. Sumit flat out says that he would rather be in jail than stay in the marriage that he is currently in. Wow, what an admission. I guess things haven't been all hunky-dory in his marriage then. We can only hope that he actually really likes Jenny and is not only picking her because she is the available option and is oh so gullible and in love. We're still having a hard time feeling sorry for you, Sumit, but declarations like that are slowly winning us over. Jenny had been in India for almost 5 months on a tourist visa before she found out Sumit's devastating secret. Imagine that. Up and leaving your country, home, family, for a man only to find out he's been leading you on while all along he's been married. That is honestly such a horrible thing that I wouldn't even wish on my worst enemy. It actually sounds like the plot of a movie, but unfortunately it's a nightmare Jenny wishes she could wake up from. Sumit's family finally release him and allow him to go see Jenny. It seems for a minute that all is forgiven and forgotten as they envelop each other in a long and affectionate embrace. You definitely cannot hide the love there. And if he's faking it, then he must be a really good actor, but we really don't know what to expect from this man. He's led us through so many rabbit holes. A tearful and visibly heartbroken Jenny lovingly embraces Sumit, asking him why this all happened.
Why did this happen?
Well, we hate to break it to you, Jenny. It's because the man cannot tell the truth to save his life. We want to scream, "Run!" at our screen so bad. Get away from the man, Jenny. But you can clearly tell that she's in too deep and this will not end well for anyone. Also, has anyone checked up on Sumit's wife? She's the one who was left by her husband. The poor lady is probably so miserable and crying herself to sleep. Poor little thing. That's who we should be feeling sorry for, not selfish Sumit who cares about no one's feelings but his own. You wouldn't guess what excuse Sumit had for Jenny. The reason he lied and let her on for that long is because he didn't want to lose her.
Because I don't want to lose you. I share everything with you.
But now look at this big mess now. Look, everything happening now.
Well, lying to someone to keep them from leaving you only creates more drama, and honestly, it must be so hard to live a double life. But hey, we don't feel sorry for Sumit, only for Jenny and his poor wife. Well, that's all we have for you today, folks. And if you've made it this far, well then why don't you go ahead and subscribe to our channel and click on the bell notification icon so that you never miss an upload. Thank you for watching.